What is going on, man? I'm over here tripping out on watching the weigh-ins. Hey, Los Tres Chingones Boxing, what is up to everybody? All the chingones, all the chingonas, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Gracias, man. We made it to the end of the week, so it's time to get in to a nice little action talk in the world of boxing, Holmes. Here I got my brother, mi hermano, my crime partner from Mike Angelino Sports One, Mr. Mike Zavala.
What's up, Ed? Let's get ready to rumble, man. Let's get it.
Hey, so David Contreras isn't here because he is shooting a commercial, Holmes.
Shh, the star.
Mr. Big Time, dog. You know what I mean? Mr. Superstar, dog. He's over there shooting a commercial. Hey, Mike, let me ask you real quick, dog. Would you rather be a movie star or a commercial star? Think of like Flo or that Verizon guy. Can you hear me now? Good. And then he went to Sprint. You know, those guys, or the Mayhem guy with that insurance company. What would you rather be, a movie star or a commercial star?
Man, I'll do commercials, man. Yeah, I'm not really into that Hollywood, so I'll do commercials. Yeah.
So would I, man. They make a pretty good living. As long as you don't end up like Jared from Subway, right? As long as you don't end up like that douchebag, man. I'd rather do be a commercial superstar, you know. But man, you know what? I didn't get a chance to watch the weigh-ins for tomorrow's ESPN fights. I'm watching right now, man. Antonio Morales, who's an up-and-coming heavyweight fighter. He is fighting another undefeated fighter. Man, he is towering over him. I'm telling everybody, Antonio Morales, he is 5-0 with 5 knockouts. He's a heavyweight fighter. This kid looks good, man. He really looks good. And I think he's going to knock this dude out. What is it? Perry, who he's fighting. Oh, he's going to destroy him. Damn, I think he's going to just mop the floor with them, man. But anyway, let's get into it, Mike. Let's get into the fights a little bit that took place over the weekend and all the story that came to it. I don't want to spend too much time because I think people are a little bit already gassed out, man, from talking about it. But there's some stuff that's come out since then. I got a couple of articles right here that I do want to read off. But first, what did you make of the Bivol and Zurdo fight, man?
Yeah, Ed, man. Remember last week's show, we had a prediction, right? And I think it was just me, you, and what's his name? The promoter for the fight on Saturday, Marv Nation. We
Yes.
said his heart was with Zurdo, but his money was with Bivol, and then I said nah, I don't think Zurdo had the IQ to fight with his hands, but also you have to fight with your feet, right, for positioning and all that. It's just too many things happened during the fight at the same time that it was just an overload for Zurdo. As you during the fight, you seen that he was mentally and physically frustrated, man. It's just like everywhere anything he did, Bivol had an answer. Bivol kept his composure. Bobo, they say whoever controls the distance controls the fight. Bobo was always in control. He lost one round, maybe two. And I'll do respect to any fighter, but this fight was easy work, man. Like we predicted, easy work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I came on Tuesday and I pretty much said the same thing. It was easy work, dog. It wasn't a competition. The only reason why this fight was even a little interesting is just because Zurdo's big and he's a zurdo, he's a southpaw, and he can absorb Bivol's punches. So I didn't think Bivol was going to be able to stop him just because how big zurdo gets up to, man, how much he hydrates and how big he becomes. But I, by no means whatsoever, did I think he had a chance in this fight, man. He just doesn't have those skills, dog. And his record is lying. It is just lying, man. I don't remember how many fights he has. I think he has like 45 fights. And well, now he's got a defeat in his record, but that record is ridiculous, man, because he hasn't faced anybody. But Zurdo, what do you want to see from Zurdo? Where does he go from here, Holmes?
Yeah, and we talked about it last week, and I'm sorry to bring that up all the time, but yeah, I mean, hey, Ed, we seen fighters take L's, right? L
Mhm.
means it doesn't mean lost; it means learn, right? So let's see if Surdo goes back to the drawing board, goes back to the gym, and works on the mistakes he did, looks at the film, goes back to his training with his trainers. I forgot I think his last name's Cho. They're pretty good trainers, man. Just they're a little green, and there's levels to this, right? There's not they're not in the level of Bivol or Bivol's trainer. He needs to go back to the drawing board and learn from mistakes. And let me see Surdo again. There's a lot of fights. There's Smith, right? The one Canelo beat in 168. He moved to
Colin
175. He looked
Smith. Colin
phenomenal.
Smith.
Colin
Yeah.
Smith. There's Smith Jr. And there's other guys at the at 175. And if David Benavidez dares to be great, hey, that's a good fight right there to see where he's at. To see the weight, if he moves up to 175, that's a great fight versus Surdo. To see where he's at, maybe he looks good or maybe he looks bad, and that's not his weight class. So I want to see what Surdo does, and that's when you see about a fighter, right? How he reacts, how he comes back after an L. So yeah,
You know, man, on the real, I look, the cruiserweight division is dead. Nobody cares about it. Nobody can name 5 fighters from the cruiserweight division because nobody cares about it. If he were to move up to cruiserweight, he would be the guy. I think he can definitely compete up there. There's not a lot of great competition, and he can take it over, man. And he can make that his home. You know what I mean? And be like, this is, this, you know, pretty much what Debo did to Red with the bike. That's my bike, punk, right? And be like, this is my weight now, punks. You know what I mean? He can definitely go and take over that division, man. If he keeps on, you know, striving and working hard and getting his skills up, he can go up there, man, and he could become the guy at 190 at cruiserweight, man. He's a big dude, and I would like for him to do that. But if he wants to stay at 175, hey, so be it. I don't think he'll ever be the guy. He can have some good fights here and there, but I don't think he'll ever be the guy. I think Colin Smith beats him. I think if Benavidez moves up, which I don't see that happening, I think he beats him. I don't think Zurdo's a bad fighter, but he's in between decent and good. I mean, he's just a big guy, you know, and he's got a long reach, but that's probably about it, man. Outside of that, you know, and he can get better, but I don't think he can ever be great.
yeah.
So there's that. Bivol, man, what does Bivol do?
Oh my God, he looked phenomenal, man. He looked even better. since his last performance with Canelo. He looked phenomenal this fight. Of course, there's levels to this. We keep saying it. He fought Zurdo, and man, he gave him a boxing lesson. I saw uh IQ, footwork, framing. I don't know if you've seen it. Was it the sixth, seventh round? He kept his hand out like Tommy Hearns. He left it out there, the front, the jab hand. He left it out there. Boom, boom. That's framing right there. Just things that textbook things. He does everything right. He, like Ed, I told you on a text, he reminds me of Mikey Garcia. It just from the outside looking in, it looks simple. They don't do uppercuts. They don't shoot overhand rights. They don't. They just boom that little pendulum set, the little step back, little step forward, boom, boom, boom. The old 1-2 or 1-2-3-4 step back and they just move. It's just simple textbook science. And hey man, that's the science. That's why it's called boxing for a reason. These guys can box, and Bobo can box, man. He's beautiful.
You want to see him against Beterbiev or Canelo next?
To tell you the truth, it's got to be Beterbiev, man. To go undisputed, and it's a hell of a match. One shot could end it all, right? With Beterbiev. That's one shot could end it all. But I still think Bobo has the skills to pay the bills to beat him. But this is a 50-50 fight for sure. And for Bivol, man, it's one shot to end them all. Because even if Beterbiev touches you, grazes you, touches you on top of the head, or even hits the glove, he has that Deontay Wilder type of freak power. It's just, but with skills, boxing and brawling, inside, outside. But Beterbiev could do it all. The only thing that he has is that father of time, man. He is 38 years old, 39, and overnight in boxing, you can turn old.
Hey, Kern County Stories, how you doing, homegirl? There you go. Friday, you're at work. All right, well, have a good Friday at work. Don't work too hard. What's up, Andres? Yeah, you know, Bivol. Who do I want to see him in there against? Beterbiev, man. I don't really want to see the rematch with Canelo. I don't, man. I'll ask you that, Mike. Okay, Canelo had successful hand surgery. Word is, this is all word to mouth because I can't find any reports that say this. But word is he can actually start training with his hand again in March. Basically, that just means contact. He could keep himself in shape. You could do a lot of things to keep yourself in shape, but to make contact with your hand that you had surgery with, right? Do you want to see Canelo get back in there with Bivol, dog?
Man, let me just tell you this, Ed. It's just history does it tells you that there's, like Andres says, there's no chance, man. Canelo moved up to 175, and when you move up, you have to get a fill-out fight. We talk about this all the time. And then Canelo moved down, and he fought Triple G at 68, and now he's moving up. The body's gonna go in shock. We've seen this what happened to Roy Jones. We've seen what happens when Oscar De La Hoya went down to go fight Pacquiao. It's just like he's moving down, he's moving up, he's moving down. It's just like your body's like, okay, what do you want? What do you want? So if he does fight Bivol, I hope he doesn't fight him right now. Let Bivol fight Beterbiev, and let Canelo get a fight with 175 with a big dude, so he could fill out the weight. But if he's gonna come off 68 now, moving to 175, it's the same thing. I don't think he could beat Bivol. And to me, Canelo's pound for pound number one. But there's weight classes for a reason.
Yeah. First of all, man, let me give a good shout out to Box Talk 101. Hey, homie, give my best to Rolly Romero, Serio, dog. Serio, Box Talk. Let me see. Back east at 8:15. I'm hearing the break is almost over. Do more lives. I will do more lives on my other channel, Kern County Stories. I plan on it. Let me see. He said, quit a hater and hop on the Rolly train before it's too late. Oh man, you guys go check out my boy Box Talk 101, man. And he's got all the insight on Rolly Romero, man. So shout outs to you and Rolly, dog. I do want to see Rolly back in the ring. But look, I said this, Mike, about Bivol and Canelo. I said, look, if this fight takes place at 175, Canelo does not stand a chance. I can't think of anything different that Canelo can do, right? I mean, you know, our camarada David brings up, hey, he went vegan and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe that stuff can help. Maybe. I couldn't really see much, man, that he can do. Hey, he got a little bit gassed out. Sure, okay, all that stuff, man. But skillful wise, I didn't really see much that he can actually do. Bivol knows how to use his long arms. He knows how to keep a long distance. He does not get frustrated. He does not get off the game plan. He stays on track. You do not derail him, man. You could get all flashy if you like. He is dead focused, man. You cannot get him off track. So with somebody like that, I can't see what Canelo can do different. However, it was entertained at the end of the Bivol Zurdo fight. They did ask him, would you go down to 168? Now, in all honesty, Bivol came out and he looked like he wasn't that interested, but he wasn't saying no. He was just kind of like, yeah, like basically like it's an option, but that's not really what I'm going to gun for. Mikey, if the fight takes place at 168, does that change the game a little bit? Canelo versus Bivol.
Yeah, that changes the game, man. That changes the game. We're in Canelo's weight class. Canelo can box, hand speed. He doesn't get tired at the second half of the fight. One thing I saw, Ed, in this fight, and I didn't see nothing. I only saw one thing. And I know if you've seen it, if I tell you, in the early rounds, Zurdo was changing levels, going to the body, and that kind of got Bivol out of his game plan, and that's how Zurdo won 1 or 2 rounds. But I was seeing it like, hey, dude, changing levels. He's susceptible to the body because of the high guard. Who is the best body puncher in the game right now? It's Canelo. So I know Eddie Reynoso's team is seeing that. But at 168, now it's a different story. Now you're in my world. Now you're gonna see what I'm all about: hand speed and footwork and everything. And to beat Bivol, I think you gotta outbox him, do a little bit of everything. And Canelo has the skills, but he's too little for 175. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing earlier this week, man. I was saying that, look, if this fight takes place at 175, it's gonna be a repeat, dog. Bivol all the way. If it takes place at 168, which I'm not really so sure if that's gonna happen, Bivol just kind of seemed like it's just kind of an option, I guess. But if it does take place at 168, now it does make things a little interesting. Now I am kind of like, maybe Canelo does stand a chance. But even with that, I think I would still favor Bivol, but I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo pulls it out, man. If the fight were to take place at 168. I'm watching the weigh-ins. I didn't get a chance to watch them. Senicia Estrada is just weighing in. She's fighting tomorrow on ESPN Plus. I saw her live. I saw her in person, man. She's a small little thing, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to see her fight.
And real quick, and also that 168 for Bivol to make it, it's enticing for him because he will get one of the best paydays or the best paydays in his career, right? He got a great payday with the Canelo, and then another payday. And also, he could go undisputed if he beats Canelo at 168, and then he moves up and he fights Beterbiev at 175 and gets all the belt. Hey, man, you're pound for pound with Pacquiao, Sugar Ray Robinson, and the rest of the pound for pounds. You know what I mean? So that's intriguing, I think, to make history because he's all about history. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I think Bivol needs to get more shine. I understand he doesn't really talk good English. I understand he doesn't have much of a personality. He's kind of like a Frankenstein, kind of just dead guy, man. So he doesn't really sell himself real much. But he definitely needs to be recognized, man, and what he's doing because he's doing some pretty impressive and great things. But I don't think the casual boxing fans still really know who he is. Yes, he's the guy that beat Canelo, but he needs to be recognized for being Dimitri Bivol. And hopefully, man, they start recognizing him because he's pretty damn impressive and he is that damn good. If the fight happens between him and Beterbiev, who do you got in that?
I'm gonna say skills pay the bills. And if he takes that shot or he doesn't get caught with that shot, I'm going for Bivol, man. He's phenomenal, bro. He's phenomenal. Who do you got, Ed? You haven't even answered that question.
Bivol. I got Bivol, man. He just
easy work or what? How?
Um, I don't think it starts as easy work, but I think it finishes with easy work. I just think his skills are just gonna shine, man, and they're just gonna outlast Better BF should the fight happen. And getting into the later rounds, he's just gonna start breaking away from the fight, man. Maybe the last, 4 or 5 rounds in the fight, he's just gonna start breaking away, man. And everyone's just gonna, with 2 rounds left, everyone's just gonna be like, damn, Bivol just broke away, man. And he's just kind of schooling Better BF now. That's kind of how I see it, man. Better BF is the best at 175, man. And possibly, I don't know. I don't want to speak out of pocket. Possibly better than anybody at 168. We don't know. I don't know that. But if he does decide to move down 168, which I don't think so, he's that close to unifying championships at that's true. That's true. But he doesn't strike me as a guy that's, just out for the bigger payday. He strikes me as a guy that's like, okay, I'm not going to make this much money, but I'm still going to make this much money. So I'm good with that. I'm still making a good living. He kind of strikes me as that type of character. I could be wrong, Holmes.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. He could get one more bigger payday, and next thing you know, he's gonna be rolling in Rolls Royce and gold chains everywhere, dog. A fur coat. He's gonna be straight pimp daddy, homie. 2 high knots on each side and everything. Who knows, dog? Who knows, right? But
and just real quick, he's playing hard to get. It's like the ball's in his hands. I might give Canelo a chance, but I'm gonna go to Beterbiev to do history. But I'll fight at 68. I'll let you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's not. That's how you're supposed to do when you negotiate. You don't say yes. Money talks. Well, how much you gonna give me? In other words, so I know he's throwing that angle too because hey man, there's big money, man. Money talks. But we'll see.
Oh, my day ones, man. He's talking about Better BF versus Bivol as a 50-50 fight. That's the fight we need. Crawfish versus sprints.
That was garbage, man. Garbage.
Oh man, that was this is Bivol number 1. All right. All right, gracias, Kern County Stores. That's what I'm talking about, homegirl. All right. So let's see what happens with Canelo, man. He should be good to come back during May. However, just real quick, man, do you think he gets a big opponent? This is somewhat, you think Canelo can get away with saying like, hey, look, I just came off hand surgery. I want to have like a comeback fight, not a complete tomato can, but nobody, not a Bivol yet. You think he could get away with that, or does he need to get in there with number 1 top dog?
Yeah, no. Well, if anything Canelo does, he's gonna get scrutiny. So, it's up to he's a man. He's a cash cow, the face of boxing. He could do whatever he wants. He earned his keep. So, yeah, he's coming off of surgery. Like, come on, man. He fought 6 times in a year and a half. His body's breaking down a little bit. So he needs to take it easy because these guys aren't really fighting. But I want to see that Benavidez fight, and I want to see it either next or he takes a low, comeback fight, and then the Benavidez. Let's get this over with already, man. Let's stop with the talking. That's the fight we want to see at 68. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree, man. We got the plant and Benavidez. Hopefully it gets done, as I know everybody's already stamping it like this fight is done. It's still not a guarantee that it's done, but it looks like that's what is going to end up happening. So with that, man, let's go. Oh, and you know what? David Morrell also won. Just real quick, Mike. David Morrell, this guy's got an incredible, amateur background. Cubano, man. You study the Cubanos, man. Tell us a little bit about what you think this kid is going to go off and do.
Yeah. I mean, to me, man, you got to earn your keep, right? I sometimes it's promotion and the right opponents, but more and more, I'm starting to like this guy, man. I'm hearing his name more. I'm looking at his skills. He has Ronnie Shields as his trainer and from Houston. I don't know if he's training in Houston, but I'm seeing more and more of this guy. And then with all due respect to his opponent that's sick, that got injured, hope he recovers fast. But he walked through him. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't want to disrespect, but yeah,
yeah.
he's looking good.
I just call him Yerbo, man, because his last name is pretty hard to say, man. But Yerbo, yeah, I first got reports that he was gonna be okay, that he was in an induced coma, and then the following day heard that it was actually critical, and then I'm hearing that he is gonna be okay. So I don't know, man. I'm not there in the hospital, but one thing that does kind of piss me off, man. I said this before, do I want to see fighters slug it out and put on a great performance? Absolutely. Do we want to see blood? Yes. We want to see the warrior spirit still exist, especially in these times where everybody is sissified, man. There's a lot of straight sissies, Holmes. Want to show that the warrior spirit still exists. Never, ever do I want to see a fighter leave the ring in a stretcher or go to the hospital or go in an induced coma or, God forbid, even die, man. Never do I want to see that. So, man, I hope he recovers and recovers fast and he could go back to the life that he had, man. Um,
Yep.
Blame his corner for that. Look, his corner, but also, yeah, I do. I'm not angry at the ref, man. The refs always get the bad rep. I'm pretty angry at the corner. Who was the doctor in that fight?
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the doctor at? How are you going in there and looking at this guy and just okaying for him to get back in there? You see, he's not competing. You see, he's just a punching bag. How are you just okaying this? Override. You're the doctor. You can override it all. You can overwrite the referee. You can overwrite the corner. You can overwrite it all and say, hey, no, this guy's no good, man. This guy is in bad shape. Who the hell is this doctor? Fire this fool, man.
Yeah.
He's got one job there. I got no idea who the doctor was, how he was checking him out. But hey, man, you know what? I definitely do hope that this guy that he recovers. I do, man, because that's sad, man. That's sad. He was former Olympian, but I hope dude is all right. Yeah, so do I, man. So do I. I never want to see that. What's up, Vince? What's happening, guy? Okay, so yeah, David Morrell. Let's see what what happens with this guy, man. This guy looks great. He looks good. Time to step up the competition. I think this guy's gonna be moving up fast. He already fought 12 rounds, man. He's moving up fast. He toyed with them, and I think he's just gonna keep going up. Let me see. I'm telling this. Shoot, I missed it. Spencer. Let me see. I'm telling this people they need put some top 10 versus David Morrell before you hurt somebody bad. You ready? Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Morrell is already, he he hits hard, man, and he moves really good in the ring, dog. He really does, man. So Doc stop fight sometimes for little cuts, and he didn't step when dude was getting hurt. Yeah, I agree, man. I don't know who the hell the doctor was in this fight, but damn. They need to check out that doctor, man. But anyways, you know what? Let's move on to a couple of things that's going on in the news. I know everybody saw what the WBC mandated, which means absolutely nothing. Okay, real boxing fans know that the sanctioning bodies can mandate fights. That does not mean those fights are gonna happen. Okay. I got a little fun thing right here. I'm not sure if I should bring it up now or if I should wait towards the end. You know what? I'll wait. I'll wait, man. I'll wait.
Make them wait. Make them wait.
Yeah, let's wait a little bit. But everyone's going to trip up because I haven't heard anybody talk about this. But anyway, one of the fights that I truly believe is going to happen is Spence versus Thurman. I've been saying this months ago, man. I was saying, look, Thurman is going to rear his ugly head in this, man, and he can disrupt the fight between Spence and Crawford. That fight, it was ordered by the WBC down in Acapulco, dog, when they're over there partying up, snorting coca, and cheating on their wives. And I think this fight truly is going to happen. Mike, what do you think about this fight, Holmes?
Oh man, once again, man, that's not the fight I want to see, man. PBC, garbage truck juice, man. That's not the fight we want to see, man. The negotiations with Crawford, I don't know who to blame. They're saying Crawford, they're saying Spence, but boxing took a L for that. We're getting Keith Thurman. Come on, man. He hasn't fought in a while. You called it, Ed. You said it, and I was like, I hope you're wrong, Ed. And once again, Ed, you were right. So this is yeah, I don't think they're going to give Spence a hard fight. Hey, anything could happen in boxing, of course, but Keith Thurman's out of his prime. It's a wrap for him. I mean, I think Spence could beat him, and they're not going to put someone hard to derail that mega fight they're going to have versus uh, Spence versus Crawford if it even happens. But that's not the fight I want to see, man. I'm not interested. Sorry.
Yeah, and since it's PBC, this is gonna be pay-per-view. I mean, this is gonna be this is gonna be like $80, 79.99 or something like that. Crawford has fought one time in the last 2 years. And he fought a guy that was not even a regular welterweight. So, and that fight was pay-per-view, and that guy was coming off of a loss, and it was like, damn, man, this is crazy. This fight does somewhat sell a little bit because Keith Thurman did make a little bit of a name for himself. How much popularity is left of his name? Maybe not as much. But I just saw this happening, man. I really did. And Keith Thurman cut his hair. He no longer has the ponytail, so I think he lost all his power, Holmes. I think he's one of those guys. He cut the hair, the power's gone, Holmes. And this is gonna be pretty easy work. I give Thurman competing for the first 4, maybe 5 rounds at most, and after that, it's all Spence. But I do think that fight does happen. A lot of these other fights, I don't think they're gonna happen. Some of them might, but they ordered Shakur Stevenson versus Pitbull Cruz. That fight's not gonna happen, man. I'm telling everybody right now that fight. I know a lot of people are like, man, hell yeah, that's a good fight. That fight's not happening, man. It's not. Most of the fights that they put on there are most likely not happening. The one that I think might happen is Sebastian Fundora and Tony Harrison. And I don't have a problem with it. I was watching my boy G Funky the other night, and he said he had a problem with it. No, I actually kind of like it, man. I think it's a pretty fun fight. So I personally, I don't really have an issue with it. But with that, let me go ahead and bring this up. Okay, I have not heard anybody mention this. Did anybody know that Ricky Hatton and Marco Antonio Barrera are fighting tomorrow? I
just
didn't
seen
know
it.
this, Mike.
I just seen it right now when you were logging in. I pressed YouTube, and then they have a press conference. I did not know. I did not know.
Yeah, that one I believe is gonna happen too. That one was ordered Ruiz and Wilder, and that one I believe is gonna happen. Yes, that one, along with very few of them, but fights like Shakur and Pitbull, that's not happening, man. That's not gonna go down. Harrison versus Fundora, good fight. Yeah, I agree. I think it is. They're saying Pitbull and Shakur will go to bids if they don't come to agreement. Look, if they do. I just have a rough time believing, man, that that PBC is gonna let Cruz fight Shakur. I don't know, but okay. So let me read this. Ricky Hatton weighed in at 159.9 versus Marco Antonio Barrera, who weighed in at 161. This is crazy, Mike. I had no idea. I never heard any. When was this even talked about? I never saw anything, man. Okay, they went in today for their exhibition tomorrow night in Manchester. I don't know who's covering this fight. I don't know where you can watch it. Let me see. Although 4 years older than Hatton, okay. Antonio Barrera is 48 years old, and Ricky Hatton is 44 years old, man. Ricky Hatton goes in with a record of 45-3 with 32 knockouts. Barrera goes in with a record of 67 wins, 7 losses, 44 wins by knockout. Mike, big dog, what do you make of this, dog? This is, I had no, when did this even come around, dog? I never heard of this, man. Talk to us a little bit about it. Your thoughts, Holmes.
Oh man, Antonio Barrera, one of Mexico's legends. He dethroned what's the kid, the guy, what was his name? That funny, the Prince Hamed. That was phenomenal, and that, I think that fight made him like a true legend, a living legend, and one of the best in Mexico. Hey man, that's, the exhibitions are fun, man. It's like the three ball in the NBA. When you see the legends, they can't play full court anymore, but they can still ball, and it'll be fun, man. Barrera's 40-something years old. He can still throw the old one too, and versus Ricky Hatton, it's gonna be fun, man. You get to see your legends, you get to see the old farts fight once again. I like exhibitions. That's the style right now. You seen the Jake Pauls and all that? I like it. Mayweather's gonna fight on Saturday too. It's funny, man. It's fun. I'm down. I like it. It's not real boxing though.
Okay, are you gonna watch? I have no idea where it's gonna be at. Where who's covering it, dog? But if you find out, are you gonna watch it?
I think so. I'm down to watch it. I'm gonna flip through it. If boxing comes first. When I was watching that Jake Paul fight, I made sure I saw the Camarón and Jojo Diaz first. The boxing comes first, and that comes second. So I'll watch it, but I'm gonna watch that boxing. I'm gonna see Fernando Vargas Jr. He's gonna fight tomorrow. Let's see how the kid looks. The kid's got the looks. He's a pretty boy, but he has a big long. His dad's name. Those are big shoes, man. And it never happened, right? It's hard to fill in your dad's shoes when your dad's a legend.
Yeah. Rosario, yes, you're right. And I think this is gonna have to go to purse bid, just like Andres was saying, for this fight actually to be made, man. I'll lay staying on. Stay with us, Kern County. Headgear or no headgear, Andres, I got no idea, dog. I got little to zero information, man. I just barely found this out like just a few minutes before we went on live. I'm like, wait, what? Where did I read boxing news every single night, man. This just kind of came out of nowhere. So I got no idea. It's an exhibition match. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do wear headgear. Didn't Chavez fight Barrera like last year with headgear, or 2 years ago or something like that? I remember, or it wasn't Barrera. I know
Travieso. El Travieso?
Yeah, I think it was a Travieso. Yes.
They fought with headgear.
Yeah, they fought with headgear, exhibition. It wasn't a good fight, man, but I still stood up and gave them a clap, man, just because, you know, they're legends. They're legends doing their thing, man. So I'll definitely watch it, dog. If I don't think I'm gonna get a chance to watch it live because it's in Manchester. So I have no idea who's covering it. If anybody can look that up, I got no idea, man. Yeah, let me see. And they got all mad and took it off. That'd be something, dog. If they're fine with headgear and then they're pissed off and then they're like, hey, take the headgear off, man. Let me read this one off right here real quick. So David Benavides is weighing in on Canelo, right? This is written by Sean Jones. And according to Sean Jones, I guess he interviewed David Benavides, and he's saying that Benavides is willing to fight Bivol or Canelo at 168. So basically, Benavides is not willing to go up to 175. We've all kind of been pushing for that. He's a big guy for 168, and I would love to see him go 175. But he said Canelo or Bivol, but it's got to be at 168, man. What do you say about that, Mike?
I mean, man, I like David Benavides, but things like this, it's like, come on, man, dare to be great, man. It's not like he's 5'6", 5'7". He's freaking 6'1", dude, and he's big. He's a big boy. He could go to 175 and make some noise, man. And I'm gonna say it right here, and I keep saying it. Beterbiev is the triple G to Canelo. He's a triple G to Benavides. If he goes up and he fights and he dethrones the monster at 175. Better be. Oh my God, this kid is the 100% pound for pound, whatever, and he's the truth, man. But he's not risking it. He doesn't want to risk it, and I get it, man. He feels like he's 168 and he wants to stay at 168. But if you want to be there to be great and be named pound for pounds and all that, you need to move up, man.
Yeah, yeah. Chavez fought Macho Junior.
Yeah,
Man. Yeah, yeah. That's it was like a year ago or 2 years. Hey, we got somebody else jumping on, man. We got my boy, my brother, the boss, one Mr. G Funky. G Funky.
It's getting funky. It's getting funky.
How you gentlemen doing? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
What's up, G Funky?
Guys for making the time to jump on, big dog.
Yes, sir. I had to do the parental thing, but I want to come on with you, man. I always enjoy listening to the show, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, daddy duties never stop, huh?
No. I need a little break from the bottle feedings and the diaper changes, man. So
hey, G Funky, the easiest job to get, the hardest job to do, right? Becoming a dad.
Absolutely.
You know what? I never heard that one, Mike. Hey, what's up?
Somewhere, I don't know.
What's up? That's the easiest job to get, man. The G Unit twins. Shout out to the Garza family. No Guru. No, we're definitely bringing back the Guru. So, hey, G Funky, man. Did you hear of this Barrera versus Hatton fight?
No, this is breaking news to me, man. And I was a big Barrera fan back in the day when he was active. So yeah, I can do without a lot of these exhibitions, but maybe I'll check it out, man, because I was a big Barrera fan back in the day. So what platform is it going to be on? Anybody know?
That I don't know, man. I'm reading into it. I'm seeing that they had their weigh-in today, which blows my mind. And I'm like, wait, they had a weigh-in today. I know it's happening in Manchester, so I don't know if they're doing like Sky or I can't. They're not putting anything up of where you could see this, or maybe I'm just scrolling past it a little bit too fast. But
yeah, I had a difficult time finding the fights this afternoon. The Edwards versus Alvarado fight, but I did end up catching it though. So I mean, we'll figure it out,
Yeah. If anybody can go ahead and find that out. Yeah, I don't see where you can see this, man. But that's that's a crazy fight. Hey, G, my boy, dog. What do you make, man, of Benavidez saying that he will fight Canelo or Bivol, but it's got to be at 168?
Well, I'll say this for the Canelo fight. I love that fight. I think it's the best competitive matchup for Canelo at 168. As far as him trying to say Bivol at 168, no, I'm not down with that. I'm sorry. Fight the man at his weight. Why try to weaken him to make it better for you? And I say the same thing with Canelo. Like, if you're going to rematch him at his weight, or don't rematch him at all. I don't mind him staying at 168 and defending his undisputed crown. Matter of fact, that's stuff that I encourage as a hardcore boxing fan. You won all the belts, defend them. I mean, Hopkins did it for years. And, people put him up on a pedestal for that. And, it's competitive, man. It's a competitive nature. I got all the belts. Let's see these guys beneath me challenge me for all these belts. So I don't have an issue with him staying there at 168 and fighting those guys. If you want to rematch Bivol, go back up to 175. That's just the way that I look at it, man. I don't like guys like, I just don't understand it. Benavidez, like, dude, just fight the guys that are in your division. Okay. Don't be calling other guys out that aren't in your division. Stay at fighting guys at super middleweight, and you got a nice challenge in front of you with Caleb Plant. So let's just focus on that.
Hey, Arturo, man, I'll be getting at you right after I get off of here, man. I want to hear about that. Maybe Fight TV. Yeah, maybe. Sky Sports app is the only way to watch. Okay. Looks like Andres did his homework there. So, okay, yeah, because I didn't hear about that anywhere else. Guys, what does Canelo do? Who does he fight? I mean, look, if Benavidez fights Plant. Now I'm hearing that fight probably won't be made till March. Okay, the winner's not going to be ready by May. If Canelo comes back and fights in May, who is that going to be? And realistically, the fight that can actually be made, who is that going to be, G?
Oh,
at 168, if he chooses not to pursue Bivol at 175.
Yeah, it's a tough question, but in my opinion, and I have not spoke to anybody that I know, any insiders, anything like that. This is just me shooting from the hip. But I think it's going to be the winner of the Parker Ryder fight. That's what I think.
Oh yeah.
And I won't be upset at that. You know, again, he's defending the belts, having himself a nice comeback fight off of an injury. And look, those two guys are pretty decent fighters too, you know? So I think the winner of that it'll probably be the last fight on his DAZN deal, which I believe was 3 fights. So yeah, I could definitely see that fight going down for Canelo on DAZN and then make his way over to PBC fall 2023 to take the winner of Benavidez Plant, which has been ordered by the WBC as a second eliminator, which I just really don't understand what the second eliminator crap is, but we know how they get down over there at the WBC. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, we know how they get down. They're over there getting down in Acapulco, Holmes. That's what they're doing, man. Hey, Mike, who does he fight next, man? You agree with G, or do you see somebody else?
I agree with G, but one thing G said, it kind of it struck a light bulb. I'm thinking something. I'm like, you know what? How about if Canelo fights? It's Canelo's last fight, right? So a big fight, and what if he fights Charlo? And Charlo moves up. It's his last fight in the zone, and Charlo will get a big payday. And what if he fights Charlo? That'll be a good fight. They'll sell for sure. So that could be a possibility.
Yeah, but is Charlo gonna do that though? Is Charlo gonna move up to to fight Canelo? I mean, I guess Charlo has said that he would move up only for Canelo because he definitely didn't do it for Benavidez. I don't know. I don't even know what's really going on with Jamal Charlo, to tell you guys the truth, man. I saw his wife ranting and disgracing the guy and stuff like that. So hopefully he gets back into the ring, man. But I'm not even really sure what's going on with them. But that'd be I mean, I would love to see that, man. Demetrius Bubu Andre, I don't think that's happening, man. I agree with you, G. Canelo has came out publicly and he said that he does want to fight in the UK. With the winner of the Ryder Parker fight, that puts him there, man. It definitely puts him there. He has made the proclamation. He says he wants to fight in the UK at least once, I guess. And that's the matchup right there. And that's gonna give all the Canelo haters, man, just more gasoline to put into their fire that he's fighting more Euro bombs, Tom. So
yeah, that's crazy. I remember talking about that quite a few times during 2021, early 2021, when there was all he does is fight Euro bums and things like that. But we know what that's about. But hey, look, I think what Mike said with Charlo, look, I would love to see him fight Charlo. I just don't know what the hell he's doing with his stuff these days. And speaking of the WBC and dropping the ball, pun intended there, I think they dropped the ball with Charlo. Like, this guy is so inactive. Like, he should really be champion in recess at this point. Guy is literally holding that belt hostage at 160. He's done nothing with it. He hasn't fought this year. He fought one time last year against Montiel in a tough, very competitive fight. And again, he's doing nothing here. Like, I just don't know why they allow that type of stuff to happen, man. It's just bad decision making by the WBC, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think some of these sanctioning bodies need to get a little bit stricter and start stripping some of these guys and saying, "Look, I got no idea, or we got no idea, or maybe they do know what's going on with Charlo. I don't know, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head and saying, like, hey, listen, man, you haven't fought at all this year. If you don't fight, at least a mandatory, something that we throw at you, we're gonna strip you, man." I mean, it's way too lenient, man. It's way too lenient. You got guys that hold on to titles for 2 years, and they want to move around in a different weight or whatever. And it's like you're still champion of this weight class, but you haven't fought there in over 24 months. And it's like, guy, you're either here or you're not. Stop holding on to the titles if you're not going to be active, if you're not going to be in there defending them. Other fighters are trying to climb the ladder to get to that title. Stop holding the titles, man. Start stripping some of these dudes. You know, that's just my thoughts on it. What's your thoughts on it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting on it. It's like, okay, what are you gonna do with it? There's other fighters that would love that belt. Move up, move up. That's how I keep saying, I keep screaming, move up, man. Move up to 168.
Yeah.
There's big fights there. But I don't know, man. These guys only fight once a year. Benavidez, the Crawfords, and Crawford's still pound for pound #1. Get out of here with this, man. These guys need to fight, man.
Yeah, we need definitely more activity, and he's got a good challenger over on the PBC side, and Carlos Adames, who just knocked out Montiel, who gave Charlo a tough fight. I'm not trying to play the triangle theory here, but style wise, that's a great matchup for Charlo. Not a guarantee he would win that fight. So, I mean, Jesus, they're really dropping the ball there too at the PBC, man. Like they got to get this thing rolling, and that's a great middleweight championship fight right there between those two.
And for one weird reason, the WBC did not mandate that fight. They mandated a bunch of other fights, but that fight they did not mandate. That's odd. It just makes me scratch my head so much. Like I don't get it. How do you not mandate that fight, man? You know, you
right.
You mandate all these other fights that are probably not going to take place, but how do you not mandate that fight? But guys, there is a good one tomorrow with Yanni Beck and Denzel Bentley, man. Yanni Beck is obviously starting to come up, man. He's starting to make some noise. People are starting to look his way and starting to give this guy some credit, man. G Funky, what do you make of this fight, man? And what do you make of Yanni Beck?
Oh, that's a good question. Look, Johnny Beck has made a name for himself based off of what other guys haven't done. What I mean by that is Demetrius Andrade. You know, he didn't want to defend his title against this guy. Moved up, was supposed to fight Zach Parker. That fight doesn't happen. Jesus, another guy with so much inactivity. But look, I just really don't know where to put Johnny Beck yet. Is he a champion? Yes, I mean technically, but I would just call him a belt holder at this point. You know, he was given the belt because one guy vacated it to move up, and he really hasn't fought anybody that's really pushed him. You know, and this is going to be another lopsided fight as far as the odds go. So it's really tough to put my finger on how good this guy is, you know, until we see him in there with some good competition. I really can't say. I mean, he's a southpaw, and he's shown some good power, but again, against not such good comp. So we'll see, man. We just got to continue to play the weight game here at 160 because it seems to be what's been going on there for the past couple of years. And quite frankly, I just don't get it. I don't understand why these promoters don't want to work with each other to make some unifications here at 160. It's not like these guys are big blockbuster names. You know, like there should be no worry about losing all kinds of money in your investment here. These guys aren't big household names. Let's get them in there, man. Let's get these unification fights. So, I mean, I'm being optimistic, but we'll see, man. But I favor Johnny Beck to win, and in pretty impressive fashion Saturday night.
Yeah, hey Mikey, Yanni Beck is 12-0 with 8 knockouts, man. What do you think of him, and what do you think of this fight tomorrow, which is not getting a lot of buzz? I think it's on the ESPN Plus. It's not getting a lot of buzz, and rightfully so, man. I think I agree with G. It's just going to be a one-sided fight. But what's your thoughts on it, big dog?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, that I'm not really familiar with this fighter. I will look him up and check him out. Yeah, he went under my radar. Is he good, or I mean,
it's hard to say.
I mean, it's he look. I'll put it like two. Okay, he looks good, right?
Okay.
He's what was he? He's from Kazakhstan, I believe.
Yeah, another Kazakh style, you know.
Yeah, so he's a big fan of Triple G. And he's starting to make a little bit of noise. People are starting to recognize him a little bit, man. But with that, a lot of people are avoiding him. So even though this guy does not have a rich professional record, he's only got 12 fights. Look, it's high risk and low reward, man. I mean, you're not making a lot of money fighting this guy. He does look pretty promising. I would favor him over Charlo. I really would, man. I would.
Oh wow.
He fights at 160. I would favor him over Charlo. I think maybe I would favor him maybe over Boo Boo Andre. I'm not really sure, man. Like G was saying, it's kind of hard to place this guy. But either way, he's in one of these high risk, low reward. So I think people are just gonna continue to keep on avoiding him because there's not a lot of money and you can lose, and you don't want to lose to a guy with a record like that and not make a lot of money because he's not bringing in those kind of dollars, which kind of let me see, my day ones is saying Yanni Beck is for real. I think he is for real, but again, I think he is, right? Once you start seeing him against bigger competition, then we'll see, man. But it looks like he is. I believe he is. Which kind of brings me with Jaime Munguia and what's going on with Jaime Munguia, G Funky. What's up with him, dog?
You know, I really don't know, man. If I could go back to my days when I was on the HCP podcast, my brother D-Style and I used to talk about how, you know, when we think of guys and fighters of like, yeah, he's going to be that guy eventually, you know. I mean, no disrespect to Munguia, but that name never popped into my head as like, that's going to be the guy here in a couple of years, you know. Munguia is going to be a fun fighter, no doubt about it. He's already starting to get popular. You know, he's drawing some great crowds wherever he fights. And look, that's fantastic. You know, we need good audiences and things like that for these fight cards, you know, so that's great. But also at the same time, you know, I look at this sport from a competitive perspective, you know, and at some point they got to put him in there with somebody, man. Like, I just don't know how good Munguia is yet. Yes, I look at his style, I look at the way he trains, I look at the way he fights, but no one's really pushed him. He's never even been in a close to a 50-50 fight. So it's that's the problem I have with when you do this with fighters. Like, I really want to know how good he is. And unfortunately, there's some fans out there that don't like when I say that. But like, how else are we supposed to know, man? Like, how do you know how a car drives unless you get that son of a bitch out on the road and drive it? You know, we don't know. So, Munguia, they got to get those tires on the ground and let's see where he's at. If he takes a loss, hey, it is what it is, man. Real fight fans are going to stick around. You know, we're not going to we don't throw guys away in the trash just because they lose one fight. You got to give them credit for getting in there and taking on a quality opponent, giving it your all. And if you come up short, hey, it is what it is, man. But, yeah, his next opponent, not thrilled about it at all. And it just adds to the long list of his resume that is as soft as baby shit, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, my day ones, I completely agree with what you just said right there. 160, Charlo's a fraud, and Triple G is old. Yeah, Yanni Beck can really take over 160. Mikey, man, your thoughts on Munguia?
Oh man, I like the kid, man. I saw some improvement with Morales in his corner, but against who? Who has he fought? Like, it's just like Benavidez. Yeah, the kid's phenomenal, but who has he fought? Like, an elite fighter. It's just like Tank Davis. Oh, we accidentally got the Tank Davis versus Pitbull Cruz, and guess what? He looked normal. He didn't look like the killer, the savage, the Tank. He looked normal. Zurdo Ramirez, phenomenal, great records, 40-something fights, 30-something knockouts, big guy, lefty. They took him to school, man, because he fought an elite fighter. It's time for this guy to, if he's the best, take the test, man. Like, it's like, he's at 160. There's great fights there. Let's make it happen. Like, start babying De La Hoya. It's just like, nobody wants to risk their fighters, man. Nobody wants to risk their fighters. And I'm going to sound like a broken record. The only guy taking a risk is the Canelos, the Vos, Usyks, and Tyson Furies. It's just like, who else, man? These guys are just sitting on their hands, man, and padding up their records. He needs to fight.
Oscar Valdez. Yeah, he's I mean, look at his last 4 opponents. He's just he's lining them up and saying, "Let's go." You know, like we got to give, and those other guys you named as well. We got to give those guys credit, man. They're throwbacks. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, and maybe Valdez Navarrete, man, can can happen. You know, there's word on that, so we'll see what happens. My day one says, take it to the bank. Munguia versus Triple G, Cinco de Mayo. Oh wait,
I like it.
Cinco de Mayo, 23. Munguia becomes a star. Look, if he beats Triple G, does that move him up the ladder? Yes, in a way, kind of by default, because Triple G is still a big name, but no way is Triple G what he used to be. I do believe that it does push Munguia's stock up. Should it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I do believe it does raise his stock a little bit. And maybe it starts giving him some bigger fights. He starts bringing in some more money. But yeah, man, Munguia, like I do see him getting better. I will say that the first time, you know, when I started watching him fight, I'm like, this kid gets to hit too much. He's very flat-footed. He doesn't have a lot of good movement. His footwork is trash. But this guy can take some punches, and he stays in the fight, and he's a big kid. Now I do see him moving around. I do see him a little bit more loose, and I'm like, okay, he's getting better. Do I ever think he's going to be an elite fighter? I don't, man. I don't. If he ever does, I'll come back and say that I was completely wrong, man. I'll come back. I'll come back.
I love that fight, man. The Triple G fight for him. And there's really no reason why it shouldn't happen. And look, Triple G is a unified champion at 160. He's got the WBA and I forget the other title he's got there, but the one he won off of Murata. But yeah, that's a big fight for Munguia. And Triple G, even in his 40-year-old body, and you know, we know he has slowed down a bit, but he is head and shoulders above anybody that Munguia has fought. And Munguia's got a real chance of beating him too. So I don't see why that fight can't happen.
Yeah, I hope that fight does happen, man. I would like to see that fight. Him and Triple G, have them go at it, and because Munguia hasn't been tested yet, I want to see where he's at. Like I said, this is an older Triple G. I get it, but I still want to see that fight happen, man. So hopefully they do make that, man. And that would really build Munguia's stock, like I said, and hopefully, man, he can start getting some of these bigger and better fights, man. Because damn it, dog, I don't know what his record is, but he's got a lot of fights under his belt, man.
It's like 40-something and 0, like
yeah, man, yeah, definitely got to get him going. And honestly, look, when you think about 160, man, I see him beating Jamal Charlo. I do, man. I see a lot of these dudes beating Jamal Charlo, man. I do not think Charlo is good. I don't, man. I think Charlo is a decent boxer, but I don't think he's good, man. I would love Munguia to get in there with Charlo, man. But is that fight going to happen? Yeah. You know, that's another question. But
networks got in the way of it last time. So, yeah,
man,
something's got to give here, man. Really.
Oh, man, that was going to be good, man. I was really looking forward to that. So, hey, man, whatever it may be, man. But with that, Mike, Big Dog, anything else before we close it out, homie?
Nah, man, another show, man. Catch me, Los Tres Chingones in Spanish on Wednesday, 7 o'clock, a las 7, or on Fridays right here with Ed and Dave, and also at Mike Angelino Sports and G Funky. Hey, man, check you out. You're always with us, and if you know Spanish, come on to the Spanish show with us too.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, man, this has been great. I finally got a chance to come on. I appreciate the invite and appreciate you guys having me on the platform. You know, I'm always here for support. Always love to show up and talk boxing with you guys. And you're always welcome on my platform as well. Just, you know, just got to hit me up. And, you know, I love talking boxing with you guys, man. So I appreciate it. You guys in the chat, if anybody wants to check me out, I'm on Instagram at gfunky_boxing, on Twitter at gfunky84, and here on YouTube you can find me gfunky boxing. All I do is talk fights, predictions, post fights. I have a phone line you can call in, and let's talk these fights, man. I appreciate the time, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Everybody, man, go check out G Funky, man. He's one of the real ones out there in the boxing world, man. And that's why I go ahead and I check him out. And that's why he's on here now. So with that, Chingonas, gracias so much for checking us out, man. Thank you, G Funky, for jumping on. Mike Angelino, you know what it is, man. To David Contreras, who's out there filming a commercial. He's Mr. Big Time now, Holmes. He's over there being a commercial star. Go get it, David Contreras. Whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back and do it again to the next round. Los Tres Chingones Boxing. We're out of here.